Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have a little special treat for you. If you like large cents, you're gonna like what, oh, you ever build a house and you put the toilet seat too close to the door for the bathroom? That's what just happened there. All right, here we go. If you like early US coins, and if you're especially fond of the large cent, you're really gonna like what I have here. This is a nearly complete collection of large cents. I'm going to slide the plastic back on these because the coins look so much better unsheathed, so to speak. So it's missing the 1793. Well, the 1793 is not in here. I do have it. The 1799, which is super rare, and then down into the 1804. And those are really all very extremely rare coins. This set, let me go ahead and tell you, if you like Morgan dollars and you like VAMs and you want a new challenge, try to collect large cents, because these suckers have all kinds of varieties to them. Okay, how many varieties? I'm glad you asked, because I think what I need to show you is, first of all, one of the first books on large cents is by Dr. William H. Sheldon, which is the person whom we got our coin grading system from. And the book's called Penny Whimsy, and this book will show you a lot of different die pairings. I'm just going to show you in the back kind of what it looks like here when you pair the dies up. So when they start talking about die pairs, they'll show that they know there'll be a certain reverse die, and then you have all these different obverse dies that share that reverse die, and some of them will share different reverse dies. So here you have all three of these coins share one reverse die, and then you have this obverse die here, this number 9, that shares several different reverses, or you could say several reverses share the same obverse. So this book, for the ardent collector, the real big fan of the large cents, they probably already own this book, but they might not have these bigger books, United States Large Cents, 1869 to 39, by William Noyes. I don't know if it's Noyes or Noyes. I don't know the correct pronunciation of his name. And this is just a fantastic book. It is huge, and it has a lot of nice detailed pictures, one page per type. And so a lot of these guys, you can see there's just a lot of little differences from one coin to the next. So if you like varieties, you can get into large cents and have a hobby that'll really last you a lifetime. 1816, this is the first book. This is 1793 to 1814. This one's even thicker than the other book, 1816 to 1839. Let's take a closer look at a few of these coins here, starting with the 1793, which is not in there, but it is certified. And this coin, you can just see kind of the outline of it, right? So if you saw the picture we were looking at before in the book, that's what this coin is, and that is what it was supposed to look like. This says, good details, PCGS genuine environmental damage. So this is a coin that in an AG3 holder, according to the gray sheet, is still worth $1,300. It's really fascinating with how rare these are and how popular they are. Just to think that you can spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a coin that is really hard to see much of any detail on. So this coin, I spent $500 on this, and I think I'll be able to find a buyer and still make a profit on it. It was kind of hard to figure out exactly what to pay because it is pretty porous. It actually looks a little bit better in person, I think, than on video. But that's one of the keys there. And for those of you who collect large cents, you're going to have to forgive me as I go through this. I just want to point out a few of the major varieties and changes over the years. the flowing head hair type with the Liberty cap, it was a pretty consistent type. Although even then, in these early years, you had different varieties with different head styles and types. So the dies were carved independent of each other, so they weren't all identical. Then you get into 1797 and you start seeing a real shift because it's a completely different design. And there's a lot, by the way, there's a lot of overdates in this series also. So you have your die varieties and then you have your overdates. Let's see if I can find a nice overdate for you, because I think there's a couple in here. I'm trying to remember which year it was. 7/6 is one, but I don't think that was one. 1808. Oh, here you go. Then you got that next shift, right? So you got the design change from 1807 here to 1808. And it's really interesting. I actually really like this whole series. The different designs and design changes, they're all pretty interesting. I really like this series in the middle here where we start in 1808. And then, because for whatever reason, like look at this 1814. I really like that series, 1808 to 1814. Then maybe you notice on those books, they don't actually have an 1815. So if anyone ever calls you and says, hey, do you have an 1815 large cent? They're probably just yanking your chain. So let me see here. I think we had this 1811 up here is an overdate variety that we can take a closer look at. It's a 11/10, I believe, 1811/10. You can see on that second one the remnants of a zero all the way around that. So even on this coin, which has some corrosion to it, you can still see the overdate. The challenge on these coins, and there's an entire special early American coin collecting club, EAC, and they have their own grading standards. So when we talk about grading standards for coins, and there's clubs that actually have their own grading standards already. There's certain areas of coin collecting that have their own grading standards, because one of the things that they do is they say, hey, the quality of the coin and the planchet should be graded, because these coins come very, very porous sometimes. So it's a totally different thing. I mean, imagine if all the dollars out there were all very porous and you had such a huge wide range, it would be radically different. So trying to collect large cents is very difficult because of that. So typically, if you get something that's a nice even planchet without problems, it'll be a higher grade and or worth more. One of the things that's neat about this set is all of these coins are just kind of a nice even brown. I mean, you have some that are a little porous, but they're not all cleaned. Now, I was really fascinated by this collection because of the fact that they were not all cleaned. And you have some that are actually a pretty nice grade. I mean, I like these. That 1835 just kind of has a nice look to it. 1837. What's interesting, then we have yet another change here in the design, 1839 to 1840. So there's several different design changes throughout this series. What's interesting, I find it interesting anyways, is the last year of issue, the 1857, is actually one of the rarest coins in the series. I just find it kind of fascinating, because lots of times the last year of issue is a coin that ends up getting hoarded, so it ends up not being necessarily a rare coin. But the 1857 is amongst the toughest dates to get in this entire series. I guess at some point we should consider looking at the back of some of these guys here. The different design changes. This is at the very end of the series, what the reverse of the coins looked like. And it stayed fairly true. So we're going to go back in time. We're going back in time. And you can see that they look pretty similar. So although the obverse had lots and lots of changes, the reverse stayed remarkably similar for just about the whole series. So we're going all the way back here You can see, you know, the wreath changed, but the general concept stayed pretty much the same the whole time here on these large cents. Like I said before, saying they stay the same is not exactly true because there's just a bevy of different designs. But I will say that the early large cents have always captivated me, especially these first, you know, 3-4 years with the different Liberty caps. And there's different types of special varieties on these with lettering on the edge, you know, all kinds of different stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you, and for those of you who don't get a chance normally to see large cents much, here's your opportunity. And for those of you who specialize, you're probably looking through there and saying, can I please check for all the varieties before you sell that? All right, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.